Hello, Cancer. Elsie here to do a reading for you. I am here to do a weekly reading. How are you doing, Cancer? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I've got this little stack of oracles. We're going to look at these first and get the overall energy for what's coming up for you possibly, and then in the next little bit here. And yeah, let's read from it. So let's start with the oracles. Cancer, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about how to find a personal read and how to find the extended if you're interested in that. Cancer, this week's read, we're talking all about, the changes that maybe the Leo full moon may have brought for you. And what I do know about you, Cancer, is right now Jupiter is in retrograde in your sign. And that's causing inward expansion, right? So for you, things are growing inwardly currently, and throw a little bit of Leo moon on top of that. And it could be a little bit of an emotional purge maybe that came quicker than you expected. Possibly. It could also lighten the mood, just saying. But let's find out how you are growing, because I feel like right now is a growth period for you. Inner growth, my friend. Emotional, inner, family, that kind of thing. Tell me what's going on for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter is what I read for Cancer. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Oh, I kind of love this. This is kind of good here. Look, we've got a barrier, we've got reflect, and then we have release. So look, we're releasing a barrier after reflection, right? Inner reflection. I like it. Yeah, it all falls in line, right? So it looks like the cards are falling in line here. We've got strength. So some of you might be in some sort of an inner emotional turmoil at this time while things are growing internally. I feel like that maybe for some of you around the full moon, you experience some sort of release. Look, if you didn't release it then, you're going to release it soon because we have an eclipse coming up, right? And so it looks like after some sort of reflection, and look, this doesn't mean that it's happening now. For some of you, it could be happening in the future. We're not all in the same timeline. So I think that you're experiencing an emotional block or a barrier in something going on in your life. I feel like you, in this Jupiter and retrograde energy here, that you're trying to figure something out, is what it feels like. The Leo moon that came up for us, the Leo full moon, was maybe it brought a little bit of a lighter side to you, possibly a little more of a playful side, but it does feel like nonetheless that it was probably necessary or needed at this time where you're having all kinds of inner growth. If you are somebody who's in this energy, I feel like you're the answer to that. If you're in this, you're trying to find the courage to fight the storm, I feel like nourishing yourself is probably the way that you can get back into the flow. And so nourishing yourself, what does that look like? It could be through food, but it also could be through movement, right? It could be through being with friends, could be through laughing, playing a little more, right? Releasing some energy or some emotion. Maybe it's a good cry is what you need, Cancer, right? Could be that. Let's look at one more card. Tell me about Cancer. After this, Cancer, we're going to throw some tarot on top of this. We're going to get a few more answers for you. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer, we've got joy and delight. So look, you are headed to the right place, but I feel like right now is probably a time of introspection, figuring out what makes you happy, what you can release and what you're going to keep. I think for some of you that you're trying to force the feelings to stay within, or maybe forcing the feelings, maybe you're fighting the expansion, the inner expansion a little bit. It says open your heart to joy. So it does feel like there is joy coming, I would say, but probably after the purge or after the release. And look, things don't always show up immediately on the full moon. Sometimes there's a delayed reaction. It can be a week later, like probably around now for some of you. So at the bottom of the deck, we have surrendering to the journey and release control. So I think that's what we're talking about. It's no joke here that the boat is on the water, right? And you're a water sign. But we've got release control. I think it's time for you just to allow the universe to make the changes in you where the changes are necessary. I just spotted a little owl in the tree. So I feel like this is telling me that there's transformations that are going on for you inwardly. Yeah, some of you might be in the solitude. Some of you might be just hermiting here, right? We've got solitude. It says in silence, peace prevails. Maybe you just need some peace while you are in this inner journey here. I brought my surrender deck today because maybe it's something that you're trying to let go of, but maybe you really don't know what you're trying to surrender. I'll tell you about that. Could be something that you're trying to surrender for some of you. Let's find out what it is time to surrender, Cancer. We've got, oh, interesting. Isn't that cool, right? Joy and delight, surrender to joy. So listen, the joy cannot be yours if you do not surrender to it. I think that's what this is saying here. Gosh, I've had so many of these little aha moments in the readings today. It's kind of cool. Bottom of the deck, we have surrender to play. You got to lighten up the situation just a little bit. You spend so much time trying to hold everything under the surface, Cancer. And life is serious business for you. You're like the Taurus of the water signs, right? Life is serious business for you. So I feel like if you're going to open your heart to joy, that joy and delight are here for you, but you've got to surrender to it. So you have to say to the universe, fine. I'm here for the expansion. I'm here to try things out. Let's just surrender to the joy. It says a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and the easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. Bottom of the deck, oh, we have surrender to receiving support and love. It's funny. I know Cancer was moving out of his house and he wouldn't call anybody to help him. He was dragging furniture up and down the stairs himself. He wouldn't allow anybody to help them. So it says you need to surrender to receiving love and support. Anyway, surrender to play. It says take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So it's time to get out and enjoy friends or fun or do something that you wouldn't usually do, something that makes you feel joyful. Let's look at some tarot. Tell me about Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. What's this barrier? I think you're reflecting on the barrier. That could be what the current energy might be for you. And for those of you who are ready to release and move on and accept the surrender to play and joy, yeah, I think that it's round the corner for you, friend. First, you have to find the courage to get through the strength. Oh, look at that. It just popped right out. I kind of love this. You're finally seeing where the barriers are. So before we can remove the barriers or realize that there is even a barrier there, no matter what kind it is, financial, emotional, whatever it is, we have to be able to see that the barrier was there before we can change it. So I love that the sun is showing up here with a great big breakthrough. It also is happiness, right? But it also is a breakthrough of seeing things clearer, right? Being able to see things under the sun is a little bit easier than seeing them in the dark. We've got reflect. We've got release. Oh, I like that release is coming up with the Two of Swords. Look at this, joy and delight. I feel like you're really on this. This journey here. It feels like this is really an introspective time for you to reflect on what you need to release. I think this is the barrier. It feels like the Two of Swords is probably the barrier, your inability to make decisions and trust your intuition. Now, all of you are not like this, but I know so many Cancers that don't realize how truly psychic they are or how intuitive they actually move in the world. Again, this same friend who wouldn't allow anybody to help him up and down the stairs. This person is so incredibly intuitive in his business that he knows that something is coming before it does and starts moving things around in order to accommodate the thing that's coming. And I would remind him, oh, see, that thing happened and you made all these moves and all of a sudden everything worked out for you. It feels like you don't really understand or realize that the abundance or this sovereign energy of the Empress is going to be showing up for you in a very joyful way. But it does feel like what you need to release is some sort of barrier here, and that the Ace of Wands is saying, reflect on what you really want. What makes you excited? Are you interested in a creative endeavor? It feels like something here is coming up that is going to make you very excited once this barrier is gone. So tell me what you see in the barrier here, Cancer. What is the barrier? We've got the Three of Wands. Oh, not knowing what to do with all of the the time that you have, I'm going to say. The Three of Wands is here, and that is expansion, adventure. Let's go, let's go. It feels like I'm looking out into the future and trying to decide what to do with the time, effort, energy, money that I have left. The Queen of Pentacles is here. And so do I have to get into better health? Do I have to get into better financial health? It feels like with Temperance, something here is about to heal, which I really love, Cancer, because look, the sun is here. And when the sun comes out, you can see the barriers, therefore you know where the pitfalls are, and there, you know, when you see the cut, you can put a Band-Aid on it. And so I feel like the Temperance is saying, you know, you're here in a moment of alchemy, you're going to see something by the sun, you're going to have some sort of breakthrough, possibly about something in the 3D. So it feels like you're looking at your financial future, or you're looking at the future of your health, or you're looking at the future of your family. It's something that is practical and grounded or 3D related, your house, your home, you know, time, effort, energy, money. Where am I spending my efforts? And so I feel like something here is about to heal itself. We do have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. There is a choice coming up. Am I going to jump in head first? Will I look a fool if I decide to see things that are in the sun? I feel like this is part of the problem. I feel like you are worried that you may turn out like you may make a foolish move. I don't think that you will. Look, this is telling me that you're listening. You're listening to your intuition. That's why her eyes are covered, right? There's a big decision that's coming up, and that's to release something. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I feel like there's some sort of big decision coming up, or a choice, because, you know, the Two of Swords, this way or that way, this or that, right? Tell me about the Ace of Wands. Tell me about this reflect, because I think that you are reflecting on excitement, or what could be exciting in the future. The Three of Wands is here. How can I invest in myself, or my money, or my health? Tell me more. We've got the Four of Swords, we've got the King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. So I really think that the Three of Wands is lending to the energy of, I'm kind of worried about healing myself emotionally. It feels like I'm talking to somebody who has experienced heartbreak, or hard times in relationships, or hard times hard times with bringing your feelings or how you feel to the surface. The King of Cups is the one that's always going to keep it under the surface, right? Always going to keep all those very deep, emotional, gooey feelings under the surface. And look, if you are the person who is, if you're watching this and you're spying on a Cancer, thank you for cross-watching, by the way, but I feel like if you're the person who Cancer allows you to see underneath this, you know, this beautiful energy that they have underneath, that you're one of the few, because Cancer doesn't usually become vulnerable with everybody. The King of Cups is here to prove that, right? So I do feel like that somebody here is reflecting on emotions that I didn't share. It feels like maybe somebody is worried that maybe I was too stoic. It feels like somebody is reflecting on relationships, emotional situations. The Four of Swords tells me you're trying to heal that. I think that you want to be more vulnerable, that you want to show your feelings on the surface. But to you, to show emotion on the surface just seems like it's a total act of bravery. The King of Cups is here, and the King of Cups is the one who has a hard time bringing things to the surface. But I feel like you are in this reflection. You're reflecting inwardly, right? You're reflecting about, gosh, I wish I wasn't that way. I wish I could just be open instead of being closed off. So let's talk about how you're going to release this here. Tell me about this, because I think you do want passion. I think you do want connection. I think you want all those things, but you're going to have to release some sort of block, possibly an emotional block. Maybe you're the Cancer that doesn't like to cry. Because I feel like this is an emotional release for you. That once this block is lifted, I feel like it's the barrier to everything that you want here. Joy, delight, abundance, balance, stability. Maybe this is a person for you. Maybe you're looking for an Empress. Maybe you are an Empress. We've got the Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords, and we've got the Strength card. So I'm going to say that the release is from holding back. You are about to, I feel like what you're doing is you're putting up more boundaries. I feel like you're scared. There's so many things coming in here, Cancer. I feel, first of all, that you are that you are scared that if you show your feelings on the surface or you become very vulnerable, it's easy for somebody to cut you, or it's easy for you, 2 swords and 1 in the hand of the Queen, it's easy to become hurt or disappointed or heartbroken. The Knight of Cups is here, which tells me that we are talking about the heart space. We're talking about things that you may fantasize about. I fantasize about having, a relationship. 4 of Pentacles tells me you're closed off. I just say I didn't do that on purpose. The Knight of Cups tells me that I think that you wish you could express yourself more, because the Queen of Swords is here and is very expressive and isn't scared to speak the truth. I feel that although I don't think you're scared, Cancer, never met a Cancer that was scared, I don't think you're scared, but I think that you do avoid the truth when it comes to your feelings. I feel like you're an expert at holding back, but I feel like it's going to take the removal of this block. I think you know where the block is, and I think that it will release emotionally. So release in tears, or maybe, it'll be a final just release, I think. The stuff when the full moons come around, talking about the full moon in Leo that we just had, when full moons come around, we don't all experience it the same way, and we don't experience it on the night of the full moon. Sometimes it takes time for us to have those realizations or to let go of things, right? It takes time for that. So I think that you're becoming clear and honest and truthful about where your blockages are. And I think one of your blocks is through your intuition. And the other block is you have a hard time making decisions about emotional things or emotional relationships or heart space things or things attached to your heart, because you've experienced so much hurt, heartbreak, or disappointment in terms of your emotions. So I feel that with the Strength card here, that you are doing everything that you can to hold back. I feel like you're trying to find the courage to feel your feelings or bring your feelings to the surface. But it does feel like somebody here is either wanting to step into the Empress energy. I feel like if you're not the person who wants to step into the Empress energy, maybe you want to share your emotions with the Empress. But it feels like this Empress energy is what's going to bring you joy and delight. This could be about money. This could be about stability. This could be about independence. This could be about feeling stable, sturdy, in connection. Tell me about the Empress. We've got the Hermit energy, got the Ace of Pentacles, and we got the Queen of Wands. I think once you come to this place after this release, and once you've healed from this release, I really do feel like you come out of Hermit energy to look for places to invest your time, effort, energy, and money. I think you come out of the Hermit energy ready to make a bold move. Ready to attract. I think that you come out of this energy being the most attractive that you've ever been. So not only looking really good, but also attracting things to you, right? That's the kind of attraction I'm talking about. And some of that is joy and delight. So I think that you really do have to surrender to the joy. You have to decide that you're going to allow the joy to bring some of those emotions to the surface. And I think it's going to take time, because I don't know how much longer Jupiter is retrograde in your sign, but I think that's what's going on inwardly or underneath the surface at this time. We're going to put down 3 cards. We're going to go to the extended. We're going to clarify all of this. I usually clarify all of these and give you a few more answers about what's going on here, a little more pointed information. I put down 3 cards in the extended, and we do talk about what's coming up or what your advice might be. If you want to come to the extended, please check the top of the pinned comments there. There's a pinned comment atop the comment section, and click on read more. There's that. That's where you will find the membership area link. That's where all of the extendeds go if you want to come and join us there. There are also just membership reads that I do for that area. And if you are interested in a private read, my pre-recorded readings begin at $25 and go up from there. Take the link to Hypsee. You'll see that information there. You can look at all of my packages. Also, if you are interested in connecting with me live, you can do that. You will get 5 to 75% off of your live calls. Let's find out what is going on. Let's put down 3 more cards and we'll get off into the extended. Oh, the Ace of Cups. Okay, the Ace of Cups is in the reverse. We've got the Death card. Oh, but that's coming to an end. So look, the Ace of Cups is in the the reverse. I feel like, oh, this is really kind of lovely. So releasing of the Three of Swords. It's time for you to stop being worried about getting your heart broken, because we were talking about that here, right? Two Swords and the Queen of Swords. Being honest with yourself. I feel like the Ace of Cups in the reverse tells me that maybe you go from a place of not being ready for love to being ready for love, because I think what's ending is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. And this could definitely mean that right now you're going inwardly, right? Right now you're going inward, which means you could be in the Hermit energy right now. So I feel like what ends is you being, inward when it comes to this emotion, thinking about things inwardly. And I think also what comes to an end is the heartbreak energy. So I feel like you are coming to a place where you are going to surrender to joy and delight. I feel like it's all about joy and play, and being a little more vulnerable on the surface is where you find the joy. We've got the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is about stability. It's time for you to stand up for yourself in some sort of relationship situation. I feel like you are really worried that things don't work out. Yeah, and I think that you've built a lot of things. Look, we'll talk more about that in the extended. If you want to be there, please go there. You know how to get there now. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back, Cancer. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to go. Bye-bye.